That's what we talk about. What's going on in them streets, now pop culture streets. So today will not disappoint because there's so much to unpack here.
Okay, yes. So we left off with the Cassian or surviving Diddy. Um,
Mhm.
and as you all have figured out by now, they've settled out of court. But it has been an onslaught of things, just like a snowball effect of everything coming out since then. And so today we are going to start with this this rumor with Aaron Hall. And basically this is all alleged now. They've been known to, I guess, work together to like on their sexcapades.
Mhm.
Um, and so, Mom, you mentioned that you saw something
Mhm.
online regarding, I guess, a situation where they were together and there was an underage girl involved.
Two. Yes, two underage girls. One at one point that they allegedly assaulted at the same time. So
Okay.
here, I guess for me, we talk about this Diddy and now the Aaron Hall. This was my era growing up. That's when they were hot, bad boy. It was New Jack Swing era. So Guy, who Aaron Hall was the lead singer for, was R&B group that had Teddy Riley, Aaron Hall, and his brother, Crazy Legs, Daniel Hall. And they were a big deal in the 90s. And what I, okay, so the story goes that they did prey on young girls. Particularly, there was an interview, and I don't have the sound bites for it because I don't know that it's appropriate to share. It was really filthy. The Aaron Hall talks about his sexcapades, um, particularly with the young women, and it was years ago, but it was very telling foreshadowing of what has come out now. Just the attitude. And so, yes, allegedly there were two young women, teenage women, young ladies, that were sexually assaulted by both Diddy and Aaron Hall. It is unfortunate that so many things are coming out. But when I think back to those days, and particularly, I will tell you that Aaron Hall, the group guy, came to homecoming my freshman year at North Carolina, North Carolina A&T. Gotta still shout out the Maggies, Aggie Pride. But oh yeah, I mean, hey, Aggie Pride all day. That's what we do. Once an
Yes.
Aggie, always an Aggie. Go ahead and shout them, Bria.
Aggie Pride.
You know. Anywho, I digress. Back to the
Yeah.
situation. So we were at a concert and it was very much part of the act where Aaron Hall would bring a young lady up on the stage, and he wasn't the only R&B singer to do it. There was Bobby Brown, many. Okay, so this is not to say that this somehow was part of their show, but he would bring a young lady, volunteer from the audience, and then proceed to simulate sexual type actions on stage. Um, that's what he was known to do. And so, particularly a lady that he impregnated did not realize that she was as young as she was. She was actually one, because now it's like they brought in Luke Campbell. Anyone that doesn't know Luke from back in the day, the Luke dancers, that's also part of that same era of time.
Yeah.
This young lady, Gloria Velez, who was a video vixen and also one of Luke's dancers, um, was at the, I guess, unbeknownst to Luke, because Luke has really changed his life. He really doesn't want to be involved in this.
Right.
But as things come out, those that were there, kind of like the thing of where you see something, you say something, and kind of nobody did. Um, but he actually started a relationship with this young lady at 17 years old and got her pregnant and proceeded to brag about it and talk about it in this interview. She has since then come forward to say that she actually stands with Cassie,
Mm-hmm.
and that that if there were any other victims, for them to speak out. So I'm certain there's going to be more to come on that.
Yes. And I see here, I mean, there have been fans just pulling up lyrics and interviews and everything because, I mean, it seems like there was a lot of this going around in the 80s and 90s. Just not really, it wasn't made as big of a deal as it is now. Because I mean, even, who was it that I saw that someone brought up? Brandy, when she was underage, she was fighting over someone in Boys to Men. Is that what I heard? Yeah,
absolutely.
She
was fighting between, it was her and Adina Howard, who was much older than her, by the way.
Yeah.
Brandy was a teenager at that time as well.
And it seems like this was very common. And so
it was common. Look at Aaliyah, even Beyonce. You know, there are so many things.
Yes.
There are so many things that were not paid attention to. Quite frankly, in one of the alleged things that I read, you know, they were getting ready for the Super Bowl, and we know that the big performer, rightfully so, is Usher. He was asked if Diddy was going to be a part of the performance, and Jay-Z had already knocked that out, because apparently at one point it was possible. Usher made a statement allegedly that the things that were coming out that he was reading were very triggering for him and hard to read. And there's something that goes there. If you recall, or maybe you don't know, but Usher started initially with Arista Records, but he also worked, did some stuff with Diddy. He was a young man. Justin Bieber too. There are alleged things about even grooming these young men. You know, the stuff that they were exposed to, that they witnessed, that happened. I mean, throw in Bow Wow in there. I mean, there are, and not with necessarily Diddy. I'm saying this is industry talk. Okay, honestly, young performers were not safe.
And even the thing with Chris Stokes and DJ, like, I mean, it seemed like it was rampant at one point. This was all going on, and nobody was batting an eye.
But the thing that you have to recall and remember is, in that era, there was not a social media. There was not. No one was going live. No one was tweeting. I mean, it just wasn't even a thing then. And so, a lot of things went on behind the scenes. And these were powerful men. Diddy was a powerful man. And you know, it just goes to show that as these things come out, and I hope and pray that it opens up the eyes of things. I mean, personally, I'm not saying I like watching it. I don't, because I was a fan, and definitely a bad boy.
Because I remember when you used to talk about, because I think, didn't you say you had a crush on Aaron Paul at one point? Or
I did.
It is. It's a lot, and I know that it's a lot to process for the generation that grew up with these guys, man.
And it's unfortunate, but I think that it goes back to what is the saying is, what's done in the dark will always come to the light.
Always.
Diddy has spoken out, but before I get to that, I do want to let everyone know, and this has been fact checked, 50 Cent is actually currently working on a documentary about the Diddy allegations that are going to be coming out. The G Unit Productions is currently doing that.
Keep them in your prayer, everybody, please. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know, everyone around him, everyone that's doing an expose, tell all, like anything, they always either get really sick or pass away untimely. So,
well, 50 Cent has that troll spirit, and you know, he's about that life. I don't know. All I can say is this. The only good, and like I said, remember everybody, this is alleged. These are all accusations. They're alleged. Nothing, he is not admitted to any of this. Matter of fact, Diddy came out with a statement that said that he's been silent when people has been coming for him and tearing down his name, legacy, and brand.
Right. And basically, and what I wanted to do with this though, because the Aaron Hall and Diddy thing are now coming intertwined. I mean, Aaron Hall has been on record saying some crazy things, like when he impregnated the teen. This is a direct quote. I just grabbed her hand and went inside the hotel and gave it to her. I didn't know she was a puppy. She was tall, big, blonde hair. I was like, I'm getting that. She was 17 when they welcomed their child. So I'm not even sure.
16. She was 16 when he, yes.
Exactly. And it's like, I know that because, when I was in high school, there were girls that were, developed and they looked older. They did. However, a simple conversation could tell you how old they were. And I don't know. It just is so predatory and weird to me that this was kind of overlooked back then.
You have to understand that the fact that Gloria Velez, that was a Luke dancer, and Luke has, again, he has spoken out and said, I had nothing to do with this, but it has been stated that this girl was groomed. That when you have these young, attractive girls in your camp, that these big guys in the industry would toss them around, would groom them to say, hey, go over here with him or whatever. I mean, it happened. And unfortunately, and that when I say Luke Campbell, y'all, this is a 2 Live crew. I mean, most of us in my era know, but some of you, Uncle Luke, some of you, for those of you that do not, we're talking 2 Live crew. Back in the day, we all know their content was very, very racy, and he had his Luke dancers that were also very racy. She was one of them, but she was underage, should not been in that explicit those videos or even dancing in that.
Right. From what I researched on that, they didn't verify ages, didn't check ID. If you look good, you were just automatically in.
Right. Exactly.
And like I said, I'm blessed to grow up in the generation that I grew up in, because my goodness, it seemed like everything was just a free for all back then. It was
but prior to the Me Too movement, so a lot of things happened, and this was things, everything from the music industry to the film industry. I mean, you name it. It kind of, unfortunately, was allowed to happen and shouldn't have been. And it's good now that this stuff is coming to light, and I pray that means changes will occur, because again, and we've said it before, when people know better, they do better. Exactly. And it's unacceptable.
Right. And what I also want to add to this is this was the generation that grew up with or were raised by the boomer generation, right? And I would say that back then that was okay. I mean, you could get a wife who was fresh out of college, and it was okay if you were in your 30s or 40s. And so some of these men, their mom met their dad when they were, and I'm not trying to sympathize or excuse anything. However, I just want to, I like to get to the root of why people are the way they are. I don't like to just be like, okay, well, they're just a bad person. I want to know why. And
see, I would dare say that, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm getting it. But what I want you to understand is sometimes when people get to a certain position of power, they feel like they can have whatever they want. And that includes people. And then when you can get in these rooms, when you can get in these spaces, when you can get in these doors that other people can't, the thing that may satisfy the regular person no longer satisfies you. You have to have more. And it just becomes this disgusting subculture of, and let's go deeper with Diddy, okay? So his former bodyguard, Gene Deal, came out Let me say that he was not the bodyguard that has come out with the Cassie story. He's talking about that it was similar with Kim Porter. He said that he had witnessed the same type of behavior with Kim, the beatings, the fighting, and at one point she fought back and proceeded to take a corkscrew. And this is an account from Gene Deal on a Vlad TV interview. So shout out to Vlad TV.
Yeah.
But in the scuffle, she had taken a wine corkscrew, the little curly part, and sliced him in the hand. And he had to go to the hospital and lost some feelings and some tendons and nerves because of that. To this day, that's his reminder that Gene says that he has of Kim. The deal with Kim Porter was she had also gotten to the point where, just like Bria said last week, she was putting together a tell-all book. Mm-hmm. Now, many of you have heard the story about Kimora Lee Simmons' house catching on fire a week ago or so. It was stated that Kimora Lee has a copy of Miss Kim Porter's book. She is allegedly scared for her life and has bumped up her security. Yeah. So, again, these are all allegations.
Well,
this is all, yeah.
Remember what you said earlier, too, about, this was the phone call that we had, how a common scare tactic in Brooklyn is a fire through the chimney. Like, that
the Bronx area. Mm-hmm.
Bronx, my bad. And so the fire did start in her chimney, right?
It did in her fireplace. It was a tactic. And they said, yeah,
this is alleged, like, actual. So we're not saying that, this is why or this is what, but
never.
It's weird.
It's suspicious, and that's why we're talking about it, and everybody's talking about it. So we want to inform our listeners, our actualizers, to know what's going on in that pop culture street. More is going to come out, guys, and we're going to find out stuff. It's heartbreaking to me. I'm a Diddy fan. It's a shame, but I won't stand behind anybody if that's the case. I was an R. Kelly fan. I refuse now to listen to his work, and that's true.
You want to know the weird thing? It's like if you put side by sides of Diddy, R. Kelly, and Aaron Hall, there's something like, I don't know, it's like a flat affect with like dead eyes. Like a flat, because I'm into mental health and all of that, a flat affect is a result of some type of trauma, either you enacted or it's been enacted on you. And I'm just saying they all have that look. If you put them side by side and like just look at them, they almost kind of look alike.
Agreed. And here's the thing, I don't know Aaron Hall's story. We do know that R. Kelly has trauma about being sexually molested as a child, him and his brothers. Yeah. Diddy, I know his father was murdered when he was young, and I'm not sure what else happened, but there was trauma. And so, yes, there probably is some of that. I guess
I'm not making excuse, like
no,
because it could be trauma that was enacted on it, or just trauma that enacted on others. However, they all have that similar flat affect that's just like, there's not a whole lot.
It's like nothing there, right? Nothing there. Well, here's what I have to say. I said there's going to be more to follow. It's coming out, guys. It's unfortunate.
Cassie, what's that expression? Just like open the floodgates to hell, pretty much.
Did.
I mean, she did. It's just been a snowball effect. like one
It
after
is.
the other. Like
But
people
it
are getting
typically,
emboldened to talk out, and that's what she wanted. That's essentially the goal. You know,
it
it's not
was.
like I don't even know if she really wanted this to go to trial because that would be scary in itself, having
Oh,
that.
sure, she'd
But
have to relive it
wanted
all.
to, but she wanted to make people aware that, hey, this guy is a monster. And
And
it
remember that Diddy's relationship with her started when she was 19.
19 years old, yes.
Mhm.
Yes, and he is. He's a monster, a predator, all of that. And
Allegedly.
it's opened up and it's emboldened all of his other victims to speak out now. And I think that's the intent of where she was going with this lawsuit.
I
So
agree.
I'm glad that she, is
That she had
getting,
the courage.
yes, because it needed to be said. He shouldn't get to skirt through Me Too just because he's an icon in the Black community. No, sir. No.
Yeah.
So
Well, again, guys, what we like to do is my beliefs are after we close out a piece of a segment. And I'll start. My beliefs are hurt people hurt people. I think I said that last week too. But my beliefs are that you may get away with stuff and it may be for a long time, but there is no one above reproach. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how much power you have. It doesn't matter. When you mistreat people and you do wrong, it will come back to get you.
absolutely.
So my beliefs are that if these allegations are true, and I cannot say that they are, these are all right now, it's an alleged, you know, we'll have to wait and see, guys. But if he did this, I sincerely hope he pays for it.
Mhm.
My thoughts and prayers to victims if this is the case. Bria?
My belief is essentially what's done in the dark will always come to the light.
Mhm.
And I think that Kim Porter was very loved and very favored,
Mhm.
and her demise did not make a lot of sense to anybody. And
Mhm.
so I think that her, her spirit is kind of coming back and avenging like all of the victims that, could not speak out, or the, the victims that she was going to try to avenge in her book. I do. I
Agreed.
feel like it's coming back full circle. And all I'm saying is his time is coming. It's
Mhm.
coming.
I think
And that's it. What's done in the dark will always come to the light. Never forget that.
every time. All right. Well, that's all we have on the Diddy Saga for now. And now, who are we coming up with next, Bria?
Let's move on to Lupita and Mr. Jackson. What do
Okay.
you think went on there? Because there are several reports saying that this affair started while he was still married to
Miss Jody Turner Smith,
exactly.
mhm,
So
who is,
what
by the way, another beautiful Black queen.
yes, stunning. Stunning.
Mhm.
What do you think about that?
Think it's
Just
a
for
bad look. Okay,
yes.
so
Yeah.
Lupita is one of those fresh faces, those well-loved Hollywood starlets. I think it's
Absolutely.
a bad I think it's a bad look for her, to be honest.
Yes.
I think that I allegedly that their relationship had become serious before that ink was even dry on that divorce. I think that when she tried to downplay and say they were friends, they were spotted out together at a concert in October. October is when Miss Jody had filed for divorce. Um, it is alleged that Lupita was part of that reason. Now, we can't prove it. Time frame seem a little off. But yeah. And
one of the quote, like, this is a quote from Jody herself. Hold on, wait, let me make sure. Okay, never mind. This was actually a quote from Lupita, so never mind. I won't say that.
well, it seemed like when they reached out to Jody for a comment, she basically did not. She is moving on with her life. She's focusing on her children or child.
Yes.
I know they have one child. I don't know if they have more than one. Yes.
Just that one.
Yes. And that she really hasn't been giving it a lot of air, to be honest. Good for her. One thing about it, Lupita, I would caution you, you lose them how you get them. So be careful, sis. And it was mighty funny because she was in a relationship for a while. And right before this came out, she made the post of, how they had broken up and why and how hurt she was.
That it
But
was
prior to that, yeah, that was my man, my man, my man. That's saying damage control.
right. Yeah, I just this was crazy to say the least. Shortly after the rumors popped up that they were getting a divorce, literally it seemed like 2 weeks later they were spotted together. That
Grocery
just,
shopping.
yes. And so you don't just jump into that,
Yeah.
especially like an intimate thing like grocery shopping. To me, that's something.
Not only grocery shopping, but kind of dressing alike. The little beanies on, the similar outfits. That's booed up big time, in my opinion. That's giving booed up.
It is. It really is. And I just believe that this went on kind of before the ink was dry on the papers. And I don't, it's not a good look. Especially knowing like Lupita making that statement about deception, heartbreak, and all of that.
Right. And she clearly was all in the mix of somebody's, even if it was the cusp of ending, I believe you should wait until someone is finished.
Finalized, yes.
Right.
That's not a good look for her at all. And
it's not.
And hopefully that she can, because I don't think she's really made any comment on this. I'm trying to find.
She initially had stated they were just friends, but they have since now confirmed their relationship. So she has gone on record to say they are in fact in a relationship.
Yes, and when people, because I don't really like when celebrities do this, because it's like it's an indirect way of saying mind your business, and I get that. I absolutely do. But when you live in the public eye and you're involved in like something that's considered a scandal,
it comes with the territory.
Just
because you don't mind them
follows,
them likes, them
there you go. There you go. And she's saying there are much more important things going on in the world right now, and my thoughts are with those who are deeply suffering. Of course, valid.
But
what it tells
perhaps
me is
his ex-wife is suffering.
Right? There you go. And so it just yeah.
Yeah. Enough of that. I just want to go a quick belief. My belief is how you get them, how you lose them, boo. Now, you'll be the next Jody in about a year, if that long. Sorry, sis. It's not a good look. Real.
Basically, I have the same belief. It's a bad look. It is. I can't really. I'm trying to find a good angle here, and there is none.
Is there one?
It's just not a good look, and I hope that even if the separation was mutual, it's still not right. And I'm proud of Jody for taking the higher approach and being the bigger person and not slandering and being that stereotypical bitter, because you know, Black women aren't allowed to be hurt. They're not allowed to express emotion because people go after
We're angry, right?
Right. So I'm glad that she is taking the stoic approach so that, you know, people aren't gaslighting her, and so yeah,
I agree.
I'm hoping for the best for Jody, Lupita, and Mr. Jackson. You're wrong. You're wrong.
Same. All right, moving on. Let's do a quick aside here, guys. On a happy note, I just want to say congrats to Ashanti, who's expecting a baby with Nelly. They're expecting. I think that's great. Listen, Ashanti's has recently had it rough. And I would even throw her in with the whole industry thing, because Ashanti was young when she came um, into the picture with Murder Inc. and was also victimized and used. Herb Gotti, deplorable the way he's spoken about her. But she's always kept her head up and been a class act. She won't speak on it. I respect her. I've seen her in concert. She's amazing and she's beautiful. Shout out to her and Nelly. Black love wins, guys. I love it that they're back together, and I love it that they are expecting a baby. Nelly, do right by her this time. Y'all are having a child, a whole baby. That's all. Priya?
Well, I just want to congratulate her. If motherhood is what she wants, like if that's something. Now, I'm not I'm not a big Nelly fan. I think that I don't know. I wish that he would go ahead and marry her,
That part.
especially since she is having his child. And I'm not saying that marriage is this like it. I'm like, how do I put this? Because I'm not of the belief that marriage should be the ultimate goal, but I do believe that if you have children together, marriage is a solidifier.
Not always, but in my opinion, he lost her one time. Let's don't lose her again, and let's do the right thing. Let's make an honest woman out of her.
Yes.
I think if that's her desire, which I believe it is, I hope they do. And I hope that I hope that they win. I love they found their way back to each other. That's what true love does. And I hope he's learned his lesson from the time that they were apart. Because on that verses, you can see how pressed he was, child. He was oh so pressed. Okay. You got her, bro. Keep her this time and do the right thing by her. Absolutely.
Exactly.
I don't even think any beliefs are even needed there. We just said them.
Pretty much. Do right by her, please.
Do right by sis. Yes.
Yeah. Now, let's move on let's pivot to the opposite of this, and let's go to Jeezy and Jeannie Mai.
Hey.
Good grief. So there have been reports that, well, not reports, she's actually said that she was blindsided. She found out about the divorce when everybody else did. Not Diddy, good God. Jeezy is firing back saying that she knew about it. And from what I'm gathering, it seems like he didn't explicitly tell her that, hey, I want a divorce. He's saying that the signs were there. And that's, I don't know. It feels a little bit like she's telling the truth. Because because his support for that claim was that they were in therapy, so she should have seen it coming. However, if you're in therapy, you're trying to fix things, correct?
Correct.
And so if I'm going to that means I'm trying to fix my marriage with you, right? Not we're heading down for this divorce that I should have seen coming. Like, and so I don't know, what are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts are, okay, let me just say this. Guys, this is opinion based. You can disagree. Matter of fact, if you do, I'd like it. I love good dialogue and discussions. Put it in the comments. But here's the thing. Jeannie Mai irritates my soul. Okay. Her comment before about how she liked dark meat on the side really pissed me off. And that soundbite keeps coming back to haunt her. But, you know, when they finally did become a couple, I was like, all right, cool. They have a beautiful daughter. You know, I'm not a big Jeezy fan, but I love his evolution as a man. He's an intellect and he's a sound, deep brother. Something I didn't know when he was just a snowman, child. Who knew? But you know, that's the case. There's always, people are multi-layered, right? It's very unfair to stereotype someone because you just don't know. Jeezy's got a lot going on up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. To say I was rooting for them might be a lie, but once they had the baby, sure. Sure.
Right. Exactly.
Sure. I don't love her campaign of victim. She's been on Sherry Shepherd and Jennifer Hudson. The blindsided thing, I agree with you. It's different to be in therapy and to deduct that it's not working, and so this marriage can move no further. If that was his truth, it may not have been her truth. So she may not have known. Though, to have a divorce, you got to be served. So, sis, you can't find about a divorce online. Now you can find out online about the intention to, but in order to get official divorce papers,
well, there was because at the time it seemed like she was in LA and he was in Atlanta, and so I it's like the papers,
but you can be served wherever
residence, or
you can be served wherever you're at. I'm sure he knew where she was, but I mean, that's my opinion. I really feel like and even before that, let's back up.
Okay.
So let's go with what she said. She found out on the internet with all of us. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She stated that I really want to fight for my family. I don't want a divorce. I want to make this work. That was her energy, correct?
Correct.
Okay. It was shortly after he did the Nia Long interview that her thought process started to change, because it became crystal clear that he was pretty much done. Energy shifted, and all of a sudden he was a cheater, man. She went to that attorney and decided to go the route of cheating allegations to undo that prenup. Because as much as people might think that, you know, oh, well, you know, she got her, Jeezy got that bag.
It does. And you know what? That absolutely influenced her decision. But okay. Because I might have an unpopular opinion on this.
Okay.
But okay. So we start, because I want to start from the beginning. So they announced they were dating, what, 2020, 2019?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Somewhere around then.
It was.
Of course, the clip of the dark meat on the side was pulled up, and, you know, they're like, Jeezy.
Right.
And Jeezy came out. Right. And so he addressed that, and he was like, yeah, we talked about that, and she said it was taken out of context, and he defended her in saying that they edited something out or whatnot, and that it wasn't the intent of, I guess, but I mean, even though I fully believe that's what she meant, Jeezy said that there was context missing to that.
Okay.
First start. Also, Jeanie was recently divorced and was paying this dominant society man, because you know they get weird when you try to make it a, but paying him alimony. And so she was doing that. The Real was getting canceled.
Right.
Jeezy has always been very clear, like he's made it public that he has this, I don't want to call it a fetish, but it might be, but you know, an affinity for Asian women.
He did. He's
And
culturally,
so,
he's really into the culture.
yes.
But what's funny is he also cited that as their difference, is why it didn't work.
Right. But what I'm trying to get at here is men like Jeezy, they'll put these certain women on a pedestal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when they see that she's a woman, like, you know, she reacts like every woman would. I mean, because it's to the core, we're women.
There's
I
not
mean,
a difference.
you know, the race and everything like that. But a woman is a woman, a man is a man, that's it.
Amen.
And so this, I feel like, was, I don't know. I feel like, and then, you know, they went on this whole submission kick, like in the height of when it was this battle of the sexes between Black men, Black women. And I don't know, it just, it felt like this isn't genuine, but we want y'all to believe that it's genuine, and because we think we love each other, but I'm over here trying to fulfill a fetish. I'm over here trying to get the bag. You know what I'm saying? And
Right,
so
right,
that,
right, right.
that's what I got from it, honestly. And Jeanie, she knew right in that in that prenup that they had, that if there is any cheating, either physical, emotional, what have you,
Oh, it
this
is
prenup is
airtight.
null
It's
and void.
literally like I can't even think about another woman, or else I'm in violation of this prenup agreement.
There you go. There you go. And I'm sure that that was a stipulation for her to
Mhm.
sign this prenup, because that woman was about her paper, and she was already paying alimony to another man, and she wanted to
Right.
make sure, hey,
That it was
I'm
airtight.
gonna be cute and sign this prenup for you, but here's this. And
Mm-hmm.
since I know that you're a rapper and I know that you're out here, you're not gonna abide by it. I know you're probably gonna send a cute little DM to somebody. I know that. So
Well,
I have this
according
baby,
to him,
and I'm gonna have this baby for you as well, so that that can solidify some paper for me.
that
And
part.
then, you know, I'm gonna do me. Because because it really started to, like, the dynamic shifted after the baby was maybe like a few months old, it seemed like. And I think that that's when they started, or when she started to pull away, because she got the bag already. She knew that that child's
Well,
supposed to
we
go.
hear.
Yes. And that, yeah. Anyway,
Well, let's
I know
be clear.
it's probably unpopular, and I get that. I don't care. That's what I feel. I feel like they both had weird motives for this. He had a fetish, probably wanted a or a biracial Blasian kid. He got that. She wanted the bag. She's doing her best to get that. And I think that both of them really shouldn't get any more sympathy, attention, anything. I think they both got what they wanted, or getting what they want, and that's it.
I think you're right. I think we can put a pin in that and just say it's done.
Okay.
Shout out to the Jenkins.
Shout out to the
Sorry.
shout out to the Jenkins.
Hey, it happens. Yeah.
It does.
All right. Well, let us now move right on along. Is there any I've been on the fence on whether we're going to discuss this. But the Chrisean, Blueface, Jaden Marsh. Like, listen, guys, we're gonna end this because we're not gonna even give it a whole lot of air. Okay, so Chrisean apparently has moved on with an individual named Suave.
Okay, Suave.
Yes. It is tearing Blueface apart. He is really cutting up over there. His latest tactic was apparently she was in the studio. Sir, a certain was there. He could not reach her at 4 a.m. She claimed, her words, allegedly, that he went over to her home, drunk, broke in to take the baby. She said that she paid her friend Marsh. And for those of y'all that know who Marsh is one of the two girls that perform with her, that dances behind her, and one of her best friends. She actually said she was paying Marsh $1,000 an hour to babysit that baby. Marsh actually lives with her, by the way.
He does.
And so, yeah. So when Blueface came to the house, Marsh was like, if you're taking him, you're taking me. There were allegations that Marsh was assaulted. God, there were allegations that she was assaulted that night. I mean, the girl showed multiple bruises on her body that she said came from him. I am concerned, but I at one point I saw it from a mother's perspective because Chrisean is young. She's what, 23?
Yeah.
They're all young. Jaden's what, 25, 24. Blueface is somewhere in that same age grade. I don't know. They're young and dumb. But my thing is, you're bringing whole individuals in this, and the children are going to suffer. And poor little Chrisean Jr., this poor baby.
I mean,
He can't even get in this world, and it's so much drama. It's hard to watch. I probably shouldn't. When she goes live, I dive in. It is the train wreck that you can't turn your head from. But in fact, it is profoundly sad because these are human beings. This stuff is really happening. Somebody's going to get hurt or worse. It just, I don't know, that poor child. You have to be careful who you get involved with, because now that she has this baby, at some point and in some way, they will be in each other's lives forever. It is profoundly sad. I think Chrisean is feeling it. She is going live, but she's a live girl anyway. She goes live every 5 minutes for every little thing. And that's typical. But I will say, on me, I know we have also very different beliefs when it comes to this. I do feel for her, and I do want to see her get it right. She sincerely understands the core of where her problems come from, but that doesn't always mean that she makes the right choices. It's going to be going to take some growing up. It's really going to take her putting her baby first. Really going to take that. Not sure if we're there yet, because I've seen some things that are concerning. But, again, she's young and she will learn. Blueface needs some help.
He does. And okay, so at 6:03 this morning, he says, "Tell me why I snuck and swabbed this baby. DNA test results came in. I am not the father, SMH. It's a bittersweet feeling because I was coming around to it, but definitely in my best interest. Thank you, Jesus." It got 3.4K likes, 1.8 million views. There was another one that he put, basically saying that he's happy about it. Anyway, this man is literally trying to torment. He is a classic narcissist.
Massively.
In the sense that he only cares about himself and what serves himself.
Absolutely.
However, as you said, we do have differing opinions on Mrs. Malone, or Miss Malone, not Mrs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, well, you even said that, you know, she's hip to it. She's smarter than she lets on.
Absolutely.
She's not just naive. It might have started off that way. However, now you know who he is. You see who, like, what this is, you know, what's happening here. And I think that because her talent is not where she thinks or needs it to be, this is a part of what keeps the money flowing in. This drama, I want to say that also got, even though he's technically engaged or whatever the hell to Jaden, that they have another season of Rock, the show they have on Zeus.
I've heard conflicting stories on that, but that's possible.
Yes, that there's another season in the works. This is all for pay. I mean, it seems like, and I honestly feel like that the live with Jaden and Chrisean kind of confirms that this is all business for them. And this is, you know, she banks on people feeling sorry for her. She banks on Blueface looking like the villain. And yes, and like I said, I do believe that he is narcissistic. I do believe that he does, in his weird way, love her, but knows that, I don't know, this is business and that he can't really control it, control the narrative like he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
And so this one, I'm not I'm not sure, but I believe that Chrisean isn't the victim that everyone paints her out to be.
Fair.
I believe that she's aware, she knows, she's cool with him being with Jaden and having, you know, that family life, as long as they can keep their toxic relationship over here and keep on the view so that she can support herself, her family, her new baby that, you know, is allegedly not his. I don't believe that, but
I don't either.
as to me, I mean, people say that the baby looks like her ex, but all I see her eyes for sure.
Oh yeah.
I
see his nose.
From here down, I see his oldest boy.
Cutie pie.
Yes,
Javon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He is
cutie pie.
Yeah, but that, from here down, that's who I see.
Yeah, I agree.
And
totally.
That baby looks like Blueface. That's Blueface's twin, honestly.
He does. Yeah. He looks just like him. He does.
And so that's how I feel. I think that this is all stirring up the pot for a new season of Crazy in Love.
You're probably right. You know what? And we're all falling right into it. You know, as Jason Lee said it best. When are you going to take us out the group chat?
You know what I told you about the clown suits, right?
Yeah.
To play in their little victim role about clown suits to all that love them the most, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think that she is another one of those that likes to do that. knows this man is no good for her.
Yep.
Continuously gives him the box or, attention, whatever he needs from her to keep it going.
Yep.
And she's shipping out clown suits to all of her fans. Every last I need you all to return to sender, like for real, because y'all are doing too much for this girl that is laughing in y'all faces. It's really ridiculous. Yes. It's ridiculous. I need y'all to stop.
Hard on returning my clown suits, but I
need y'all to return to sender. I need all of y'all to return to sender because y'all look crazy. Because y'all are essentially defending someone who knows what it is. Like she knows what this is. Yeah. And she's banking on all of y'all to victimize her so that she can continue to do this.
You're right.
And y'all are wearing these like bright clown suits for her to all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Her fans we call the clowns. For real.
It is. But I accept my clown suit because I do feel for her and I am rooting for her. And I really think that she's going to get this thing together. I think she needs to get away from him. It is a business thing. We'll just tune in and see, y'all. I don't know. But I know this. I'm very thankful each and every one of you guys. Yes.
Hold on.
I have tuned in tonight. All right. Well, Miss Bria is stepping away. I'm going to thank all of you guys.
I have to use the restroom. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Okay. Well, while she does that, I'm going to thank all of you guys for tuning in to Alleged podcast tonight. Remember, Saturdays will be our pop culture night. Anything you want us to discuss, throw it in the comments. Please subscribe and share. And just let me say thank you again for everyone that has just been supporting this chick's dream. It's just something I enjoy doing. It's a time that me and my daughter get to chop it up on things that we love, which is pop culture and reality shows. I hope you will tune in on Monday as I recap the Sunday night shows. And just keep coming back. Thursdays we do Married at First Sight. Sundays we do Married to Medicine, Real House of Potomac. Possibly. I did make the statement that this may be my last time last week or early this week recapping that one. I'm very disappointed in the way that the show is going. And there are actually others that I would like to touch on. So if there are those that you would like to see me recap or talk about, put them in the comments. I'm happy to do so. I'll watch them all, child. I'll watch them all. So anyway, again, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you come back and keep on supporting us. We appreciate you. I'm going to say goodnight tonight. And come back again. Thank you guys so much. This is Alleged Actually. I'm Sherry.